Right now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Nightly Sports Call.
Thank you very much, Ken. Welcome, everybody, to the Allegheny Health Network Nightly Sports Call. I am Josh Taylor, in tonight for Bob Pompiani. Joining me in studio from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette is Gene Collier, and we will talk a little bit about the Pirates here. But first, before we do that, I want to let everybody know we have a special giveaway tonight. We have a lot of giveaways here with the Nightly Sports Call. We're generous people, but one lucky caller tonight, we'll say the fourth caller to call in, you will win 2 tickets to the first ever Steelers Family Fest at Heinz Field. That's this Sunday. Doors open at 5 o'clock. Tickets are $10. They can be purchased on Steelers.com or on the day of at Heinz Field, but a lot of things going on at Heinz Field. The Steelers will practice live there. A lot of entertainment, frisbee dogs, a BMX stunt show, music, face painting for the kids, photo opportunities, a lot of different things. Franco Harris, Rocky Blyer, Santonio Holmes will all be there. So the fourth caller tonight, 412-575-2600, the fourth caller will get 2 tickets to the first ever Family Fest at Heinz Field. So good luck for whoever calls. In the meantime, Gene, let's get into it. Pirates tonight losing to Cincinnati. 9-1 is the final score in a game where, if you looked at it on paper, as has happened 6 out of 7 games now, you look at it on paper, you see the Pirates lineup, you see the Reds lineup, you see the Pirates pitching matchup, you see the Reds pitching matchup, and you think, oh, this is the game that the Pirates can win. And it doesn't happen that way. And not only did they lose tonight, they lost in blowout fashion 9-1. It's become a really bad trend with this team now losing, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong here, they are now 2-12 against both the Reds and the Giants, 2 of the bottom feeders in the National League.
Right, 2-12 or 2-13, something very close to that. Yeah, this has been a problem. The Pirates have many problems, as Chuck Noll once said about a player. They have many problems, and they are great. You know, I mean, I don't know where to start with the Pirates. I'm really no longer interested in watching them. I watch them for individual performances to see what it portends for 2018. But if management's not interested in the 2017 Pirates, I'm certainly not interested in it.
There's a weird element there because there's a lot to discuss as far as what you make of what they did or in some cases didn't do at the trade deadline. There was a deal that they expected to make. Tony Watson was an expiring contract. I think you and I agreed that we expected that to happen. He gets moved to the Dodgers. Joaquin Benoit, you need someone to take his place. They bring in a reliever. That was expected. But then nothing else happened. Nothing else, minor or major, nothing else happened, whether it was as far as, okay, this is a move where we're going to try to strengthen the roster now or we're trying to sell a piece to get better later. That didn't happen. It was just that one move. You move Tony Watson, you bring in a guy to replace him in the late innings, and that's it. So what are we to make of what happens or what this team is trying to do for not only for this season, but beyond also?
Well, yeah, I mean, neither of these trades helped next year's team either. But I think what it says about this year's team, I mean, it says a lot about what they feel, what their opinion is of this year's team, but it also says something about the Cubs. I think the Pirates and probably a couple of other National League Central teams have just concluded that the Cubs have hit full gallop and there's no catching them. So let's not strain ourselves and let's try to keep together what we have to try this again next year. I'm not saying it's a terrible strategy. It's just a very uninteresting strategy.
And not only have they hit full gallop, but they've also found ways to upgrade as well. They trade for Jose Quintana, and you see the rest of the pitchers in the pitching staff. They get a couple relievers. The rest of the starting staff also getting healthy. Kyle Hendricks is back, so that now you see them either healthy or kind of reloading, so to speak. And Theo Epstein, for the past couple of years, his mantra has pretty much been find pitching. He's been trying to do it for a while. The position player areas, he's been so loaded between drafting well and making really savvy trades, he's kind of overloaded at the player areas, but the pitching part was really what he needed, but they found their solutions there also.
Yeah, nobody should be surprised that the Cubs have come together here. They're a great organization and they have great talent.
Well, let's shift to the Steelers here because they had a day off of practice, but already we've seen some things that are starting to affect this team on the depth chart. Now, granted, Jerry Dulac has since reported that James Conner's shoulder injury wasn't serious, but with no James Conner, Le'Veon Bell has not reported yet, so he hasn't practiced yet. So now you're getting guys like Niall Davis, who was a free agent signing, Fitzgerald Toussaint, who's been with the team for a couple years. These are guys getting the majority of the carries now. They're getting the reps in practice, and some will tell you it's the first couple of days of practice. That's not a big deal. But I'll ask you this question because it does become important. And there's always a scenario of injuries, and they'll tell you injuries are a part of the game. Does it give you much pause that this could be a realistic scenario should Le'Veon Bell and James Conner be hurt during the season at the same time? Does that give you pause about that could be your options at the running back position.
Well, sure. Nobody wants to see the Steelers play without Le'Veon Bell and James Conner or Niall Davis, because then you're down to your Fitz Toussaint. And nothing against him. He does it. He does his best. He's just not those players. And that's really all the preseason is about now. It's kind of a natural handicapping system to see who gets hurt the most.
Now, with that said, it leads me to another question here. We saw a lot over the weekend. Players having to take some time because of the heat, right, and they got a little physical, so some dings, some bumps and bruises there. Does that bother you as far as the physicality of practices? I know some people have really shifted their opinions as far as maybe lesser physical practices probably save your guys for the season. But where are you as far as this team really taking that approach early to be a little bit more physical and get the hitting in early?
I think it's really all dictated by the head coach, and Mike Tomlin's got to figure out what he's comfortable with and what he's not. I noticed at Dolphins practice the other day, Jay Ajayi left with a concussion, and Adam Gase, the head coach there, was kind of challenged on the notion of hitting that hard early in practice, and he said, well, it's one of those things where you're darned if you do or you don't. And this is really the nature of football now. The only way not to get hurt is not to participate in it. And that's why the Steelers are lucky if Le'Veon Bell doesn't come in until September. And, even a player like James Conner, who really needs reps, he's not really set back all that much by missing a few practices, I don't think.
Well, we will take a break here in just a couple moments. 412-575-2600, taking your calls. Got to make an announcement. Georgette is the winner of the tickets, so
right,
congratulations, Georgette, for calling in and getting the tickets to the Steelers Family Fest on Sunday at Heinz Field. So congratulations, have a good time. Yeah. And meet San Antonio Holmes. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll take your calls, and we'll answer Twitter questions as well. Stick around.